What's up? Size very light today. I'll go through the recap from yesterday. This one didn't work. I only got a couple, but it was unfortunate that it didn't work out. This one went okay. This one did great. This one went okay. This one okay. This one went pretty good. We had no volume at MOC, otherwise I think this would have hit. But it is what it is. Size very light today because we got FOMC tomorrow, and I think we're just going to chop all day, to be honest. Not really seeing a lot of volume either. The only promising thing right now is these calls that are up almost in the money. But I think nothing's going to happen until tomorrow afternoon, basically. The last time we did FOMC, we got a couple of 10x plays. So I'm just going to save my buying power till tomorrow, to be honest. I might just play SPY today. That's why I got it open. I'm looking at either getting in the money calls or at the money calls, like the 740s. If we start rejecting at 740, which is the pre-market high and where we started rejecting from yesterday, then I'm just going to switch to puts. The puts that I really like is the 738s or maybe even the 736s. They lowered the put wall on SPY to 735. So I don't see why we don't go test that. It'll be right down here. So I think it's going to go do something like that. Maybe hold here, consolidate, and then kind of go up by the end of the day just to shake out any last late bears and then finally drop down tomorrow to like 730, maybe even 729, 72. So that's what I'm seeing on SPY. QQQ, I'm looking at a couple different levels here. One is I want to see what happens at 685, 683, and 680. You're well below the put wall at this point in time, so I don't see why we don't go and rally up here, reject at 680, and then come back down. Or if we close above 680 here, we might just go up towards 695 and take out this high at the very least. So for the most part, you have like an inverse head and shoulder on an inverse head and shoulder on QQQ, and SPY is very identical. But the thing that bothers me about SPY the most is that they haven't let this area drop. So at 736, 38, I don't know why they're not letting it drop. I wish they did, then I can swing puts. But as it stands right now, this is just where we are. We're in accumulation mode. And volume just dies off after the first half hour. We kind of got lucky on Friday, I would say, because that was a pretty good day for us to trade. But I think that was more for short covering more than anything else. So I'm a bit upset at the A, lack of volume, and B, that they haven't let this area drop, because then I can't swing puts. And it makes it much harder to buy puts when we're down here, because your only expected move is like, $2 drop here, $3 drop, whatever. And I really don't want to chase that. So let's see if this area holds or not. I think it will. It'll probably shake out retail in the onset, so they'll probably do this and then kind of go up. Or they might pump it in the next like 10 minutes and then kind of come back down towards 735, which is the put wall there. But I'll watch IWM to see if that's going to give us a read here on the 2 minutes. I took some APLD calls for earnings. I don't think it's going to do that well, to be honest. We can't even close above Monday's like high, and we can't close above this. That means the 30 calls that I have are probably dead at this point in time. That's a play from Sky. We'll see if it works out. You do have one semblance of like an inverse head and shoulder. Whether it runs or not, I have no clue. And one of the other top watches for me is Micron. You're right at the pole wall at this point in time, 827. If this area holds, you're likely to set up an inverse head and shoulder here, double tap, and then go back to like 907 for tomorrow, maybe even today. So that's what I'm watching for there. Tesla, same story. This area is holding. You kind of have a weird, not a weird, but like a very thin inverse head and shoulder. Whether it does accumulation here and goes up, I don't know. Or if it just takes up this low from yesterday and then just starts rejecting, that is also a possibility. But once again, we got FOMC tomorrow, so size is very light because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to save my buying power for tomorrow and just see if I can play those intraday reversals. And then CTAS, this is a good watch for me. FICO is also a good watch. We'll see if that goes anywhere. Take Two was holding up pretty well yesterday. Like I just went on a kind of like a tear there. And the PLTR also held up pretty nicely yesterday. It was kind of green when everything else is red. So maybe we get the inverse of that, but as long as this area holds at 125, I think calls for tomorrow or Friday might work out. The other chart I really like is JPM. I'm going to do a little straddle here. I don't know if I'll get it at open, but this is setting up a head and shoulder. So whether that happens or not, I don't know, but this is looking like it's going to reject at 358, set up that right shoulder, and then come back down. So what I'm going to do is take 350 puts, but I also got the 364 calls if they work out for Friday. Now, I don't know if they're going to raise the interest rates or not. I don't think they are, frankly, because if they do, I can see SPY falling to like 725 or maybe even 720 at that point in time. And SPX definitely at 7,300 or below. But whenever we get to those extreme levels, I think what's going to happen is we're going to reverse up over the next couple of months and then, just go towards all-time highs by the end of the year. The way that I'm reading this is like they wouldn't be buying JP Morgan if they thought that interest rates were going up, because it's setting up higher highs, higher lows. You have a clear trend line here from this bottom or even this one. But then in this particular case, this bottom is holding up pretty nicely. Whether that rejects the trend and then sets up the head and shoulder and goes back down, I don't know. So that's what I'm looking at there. But if they do raise the interest rates, your first bet will be to get puts on SoFi, then JP Morgan, and basically every other bank. Now, you can make the case that rate hikes are good for banks, maybe, but with the amount of debt that's going to have to get refinanced, I think it's pretty bearish. But I'm literally going to do lotto sizing until I see the volume return. So it is double the volume today compared to yesterday. However, it's still 1/10 the volume that we normally get. Usually we get like a $20 billion read. Right now, it's like $7.6 billion, maybe like $8 billion at most if you tally those up. Beyond that, George did have some improvements overnight. I was up pretty late trying to figure out how I can improve the cap and floor model. I think I got an update out, but I'm going to observe it for a couple of days and see where that ends up. And if it doesn't go well, then I'll roll it back to the old version that I had. Yesterday, his reads were pretty good. The only thing that tripped him up was just a lack of volume, and that's why he didn't take any trades himself. But on the other side, I think some of these issues where you got like conflicting information, like it's up or down. The reality is like we didn't have much volume. Even the print that we got at open or around open before we started selling off at like 935, that was only 900 lots, not even 2,000. Our minimum right now is 6K. And so we had 900 lots hit those puts. And that's why he's like, oh, you know what? I saw it, but I'm not going to signal because it wasn't big enough. And I think he's right. Because we just had no volume yesterday. Even for MOC, we had like 644 million, which is like nothing compared to, what we're used to seeing of like, 5, 10, $20 billion. So let's see what happens. I do think we're just going to chop around. So size very light. I'm just going to do some SPY plays for the most part. I'm going to watch 15 minutes and see if we reject. If not, then I'll get some calls. And if we start rejecting at 741, I'm going to kill those calls and then come back down to puts at the 737 area. So that's what I'm looking at there. And I'm going to watch IWM. Bank of America looks decent. Palantir looks decent. JPM going to do a little straddle. and then UNH and some of these healthcare names. I think they're lagging. I don't know why they're lagging, but I'm liking that we came back into this area. So I might get some weeklies on this, like the 420 calls or the 425 calls, because I do think that they'll kind of hit. And then if that's going to go, Oscar's going to go. Let me just spell it right. I think Oscar's ready to run once again, so I might add to the leaps. I think it's a pretty good time. And then one note on DRAM and Micron and some of these other names. If you're dropping, like, what is it, from this high here to down here, like 20% drop, this will go to zero in like 7 days or 5 days, whatever, right? So like if you have 20% drops every day for the next 5 days, you're looking at going to zero on DRAM. So I think we're pretty close to a bottom. I don't know if that bottom happens today or tomorrow, if they do like a pretty nasty undercut, or just goes to like 44 or maybe even 40 and then reverses up. But this is the area that I'm looking at for loading up on leaps. That's how I see this. And then we got some earnings tomorrow. I think Meta and Microsoft. We got earnings today for, I think it's KLAC maybe. And there's a couple other ones that have pretty good earnings. Now, all these charts look effing awful, excuse the language, but like none of these look good to me. But I think this will hold and this will go well. And if that does, then you might have a bid on photo and the photonic names. But we'll see where that goes, because this has been an absolute dumpster fire since we started thinking about like getting calls or leaps on this. So at this point in time, you have a double bottom. I don't know if it holds. I think it does. And I might get some calls on this for weeklies as well, just to see where that goes. And if that's going to go, then same thing with light. But they might undercut everyone out, shake retail out, and then hold this area at 650 before it goes up. ASML has some weird competitors coming out of China. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. I don't really care. So I'm looking to see if we hold here. If we do, I might get some weeklies on this, because you're pretty far below where the accumulation's been happening for the last couple of days. You know, this is a 12% drop. I don't know if we go back up 12%, but, you know, I do see this rallying a little bit towards like maybe 1720. Now, these will be expensive contracts, so I might just take them. If you want to tail them, tail them. But what I'm looking to do, in all honesty today, just waiting to see if we bottom out somewhere. And then today and tomorrow, start loading up on these 770 calls that I got for the end of the year. I got 10 contracts to start off with. I want to get to like 50 contracts in the next couple of weeks, and then just hold that position until the end of the year. And maybe I'll roll them if we don't hit 750 by August. Like mid-August is really the timeline that I have, because I got 750 calls for end of August right now. Again, 10 contracts. So I'll see how that goes. I did take some NVTS earnings play. I don't know. This chart also looks like a dumpster fire and AMKR from yesterday. They had okay earnings. I think their guidance is a bit lower, so I think this is going to come back down to like 47 before it decides to go up or down. But that's what I'm looking at there. That is very light, and we'll see where that goes. But the top watches for me right now are Micron for tomorrow, Tesla for tomorrow. I'll start a DRAM leap position probably today and tomorrow, and then add to it over the next couple of weeks. And then I'm going to take some Oscar leaps as well. I already got a couple, but I want to get more. I got the 20 calls that are in the money. I'm looking at setting up a position for the 30 calls for January 2027. Maybe I'll roll them out a bit further, but that's really what I'm looking at there. Someone asked me about Nokia yesterday. I do like how this is shaping up. You're setting up a nice bottoming area, which is incidentally the bottom from April of this year. So let's see if this wants to go up higher, but I do like how this is positioned. The last time we took leaps on this, we got the 10 calls for, I think it was like $100 each. They won 10x. They were in the money for quite a while. They're obviously not in the money anymore, but I'm looking at the 15 calls that I want to swing for January, maybe even March 2027. And if you took Verizon with me, they're up 100%. I got the 47 calls, I believe. Let me just double check. Yep. 59 calls for 144. And then we got so much time on them until June 2027. But they're up 106%. I was going to sell half of them in open and ride the other ones to Valhalla. When I get a 100% plus win, especially on these longer dated swings, I'm just going to take the win and leave a couple runners to see where that ends up. And if it comes back down, then I'll add to it, but I want to get them at a discount compared to where we are. The easiest short right now looks like it's SpaceX. So if you are playing this, just keep an eye on it. I do think that this will reverse at some point in time. I don't know when, but I'm interested in setting up a $200 call or maybe even the $150 call for the end of the year. It doesn't have to go in the money. I just need to see a bounce a little bit before I decide to sell them. So let's see what happens here. So far, it seems to be an easy short. You just keep making lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and lower highs. And this has been in a 45-degree decline for the last couple of weeks ever since it IPO'd. So I think at some point in time, this is going to bottom out. I still don't know when, because it'll eventually also go to zero if it doesn't hold at some point in time. But as soon as this changes trend towards the upside, like where we make a higher low and lower high, then I think that's when you start loading up on leaps and see where that goes. I think that's kind of it for my read right now. We'll see what the market opens, if they do the shakeout at open and then kind of buy it up afterwards. We did see a relatively big print. I mean, in relative, it's relatively compared to like the last 10 days of no volume. But we did see these swings come in yesterday. It's the 74.30 calls for today. These are still working. They came in at like 1 p.m. or something, 1:33. There you go. And then they were $1,100. I think they're a bit more expensive now. Let me just go double check. Calls 74.30. Yeah, they're at 1,300. So they made $200 there on the contract. So they risked $1.7 million to make $2,000. Basically, is kind of my read on that.
I got them at 1,600 right now.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one.
Oh, or mine's not populating. Maybe mine's not populating.
Nah, it's 1550. All right, they made like $4,000 on that play by risking 1.7 mil. So whatever you think you risk,
seem like they left yet either, right?
Yeah, whatever you think you risk and lose out on, these guys are putting in a lot of money and not making that much either. So it's not just us; the whole market is kind of whack. Even the plays that I'm taking right now. Yeah, the read is right. Like, what is this? Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays that I took yesterday, lost 2, won 5. But they just take so long to develop, right? By the time I see them and I'm able to get in the position, they go on discount in like 30 minutes by 50%. And then usually I don't add to them because I don't see the point in adding to a losing trade. And then like an hour later from the time I enter, they go up like, 50 to 100%. So things just take a long time to develop because there's no volume. And if you thought yesterday the volume was bad, today is a bit better, but it's not great compared to where we were like 10 days ago, where you consistently saw like, $5-7 billion and $20 billion in total of the actual print that we get. But market opens in a minute. Let them shake out retail. I have zero interest in chasing puts. But what I'm going to do is just play SPY because it's pretty easy to lose like $1,000 on SPX, whenever you do anything. So let's see what we get, and then I'll just watch for Georgia signal. I was playing SPX on my actual account, it's like my Wealthsimple account yesterday. And I think I deployed like 5 or 7 G's towards a contract. I was like, damn, I forgot how expensive it is. Because like I'm doing it on my small account where I'm only getting like, 2 contracts or 5 contracts, whatever. But on the big one, I'm trying to get like 10, 20. And I'm like, holy crap, like I'm out like 5 G's easily.
You got a pre-market wick on all the call contracts.
Yeah, they're probably going to run up.
From an hour ago.
I do think they're going to shake out retail in the first 15. NDX flipped, SPX has not flipped, and RUT has not flipped yet. So we'll give it some time. Amazon also has earnings this week. I think they'll do well. But I don't know if I want to gamble Amazon earnings. Because they can say like they're going to increase CapEx and all of a sudden just implodes. Someone asked for George. I just look at the trade now. Honestly, that's what I'm looking at there for the most part because that's been the best read right now. He's buying the 74.10 or he's saying get the 74.10 puts there in the money. So I'm just going to wait for one thing to flip or for us to get up like a green candle before I decide to buy the downside. But, as it stands right now, they're buying the 74.50 calls and then they also got the 7,400 puts. Both are being hit. Which side wins? I don't know. It's a pretty nasty wick on IWM. Look at that. Look at this friggin' 2-minute wick here. That's a 0.2% move. So I think they kind of want to go higher here, but let's see. The toaster oven's going off. Something's cooking. Oh yeah, they're buying calls. Cool. And USO is probably dumping again. Yeah, there it is. Oh, actually holding a bit on I thought.
For what it's worth, the 729 position, the 7,300s tomorrow, they've increased in value again. So I don't think it's going to be the biggest rip if we have one. It's just those are things to keep an eye on.
Yeah, this is all calls. It's pretty rare. Oh, nope. Some of them disappeared. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, they've been adding to that. I almost wonder if it's a FOMC hedge more than anything else, but I don't know. The market's going to
Could be.
reverse when you least expect it, to be honest, like reverse up to like all-time highs.
I like the idea on the 7430s though.
Yeah, $800, not bad. I'm just going to wait.
Or just like at least paying attention to them because that's what was hit.
Yeah, let's see. Even these contracts leave like gaps up here. That's crazy. Here come the bids on that contract. I will say Apple's been absolutely ripping every day. Just continues to make higher lows and higher highs. Short is off. SPX 7410 is no longer the call. Good job, George. Good job. He's telling us why he thinks something, which is kind of nice. Watching position. I want to see what QQQs are doing right now because they should start pumping soon.
By the way, Shabs, check your AMKR puts there in the money.
Oh, yes, the 50 puts. I don't think anyone tailed me on those.
I have 55. Just check them. You'll like it.
Oh, I actually might have done the 50. No, I did the 55s. Dude, that was a 10x. It went from 76 a contract to 570. Nice. Nicely done, Timmy. I can't sell it, though, because the spreads are waxed. I don't have to sell it at like 500, but pretty good.
Profit is profit.
Oh, let me just do it on my phone while I'm here. I don't know why they're buying calls. I just don't get it. But, you know, who do I know? What do I know?
Micron calls here, 900s. Starting to get hit.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
You gonna say something, Timmy?
oh no, I'm just reading some emails.
When's the war gonna end?
I haven't been told yet. Well, excuse me.
Watching position.
Told, you know.
Hey, I thought you were our man on the inside.
For a price. You know. Yes, I gave you all the information yesterday, remember?
Ah, true.
And then we had that like 30 to 40 point move.
I'm gonna watch 15. I like this, but I think it's gonna reject here as well. Come back down, then go up. Nice volume though.
Never mind. Micron has some crazy exposure down to 750 for tomorrow.
I don't know why they're buying.
You know what's interesting
calls.
yesterday? What was interesting yesterday? We didn't do it, and the contracts were expensive. But S&DK contracts from, in hindsight, from 9:30 to 12:30, that thing would have paid.
Yeah, same thing with like
Watching
Intel. Like
position.
later in the day, we had like Intel flow coming in, and those absolutely ripped. They went from like $50 a contract to like 500, and we just didn't catch it because we were trying to play SPX like a fucking idiot.
Well, even if you look at S&DK, that thing just waterfalled.
Oh yeah, I did. And then I think SK Hynix actually has earnings or something going on this week. It looks weak as hell. STX also has earnings today, I think. They'll do well. I don't see why they don't do well, but
No, still the news.
it might just be solid news. They are walking us down, I will say. Like each one of these moves isn't that, like realistically, it's not that big, but you look at it on the 4 hour, you're like, okay, well, you know, here's a 1% drop or 0.5%, whatever. Then here's another 0.5%. Then here's another 0.5%. Then here's another 0.5%. So they're slowly walking us down towards like a lower low. The only concern that I have, and this is why I don't play puts, is like technically, if you look at this on the daily, the trend is still bullish. Right? Higher high, higher low so far. Maybe this rejection rolls over. But until we see a close below 737, like I don't know how to play the downside. Because if you don't time it right, it just goes to zero.
Way to play the downside right now is by swinging things that are related to the downside. So Coca-Cola, Netflix, Apple.
Yeah, Coca-Cola's on a tear. Look at that, 90 calls. I'm not chasing it here though.
PG, for example, that's how you play the downside. You get contracts that have expiration in September, October, maybe even November now.
Well, look at the volume on this, man. PM, PG, Coca-Cola, insane.
Yeah, but that's how you play downside. It is safe to swing in select areas. You just need the right open interest, you need the right liquidity, you need to play the right name to understand how it reacts, but it is possible.
I like it. There's that IWM rejection that I was saying before. Now I think this area will hold, and now they'll kind of reverse the script on us. But let's see. I kind of like the 7440s at 490, not bad. But I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for George. So they bought 740 calls, 740 calls, sold the puts, and then 737 calls. So let's see what happens. Not a lot of volume though. Like look at this 100, 177, 1K, 370. Not a lot. And there's that hole on IWM, but I want to watch till 9:45 anyway. If anyone's interested in playing meta earnings, I'm shorting the hell out of this. I'm getting the 560 puts. I hate meta now, and we'll see where that goes. I do think they're going to come out and say, hey, we're going to increase CapEx, and all of a sudden it's just going to implode. Microsoft, they bought a shit ton of calls. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I do think they're going to do the same thing, increase CapEx. And George has flipped to bearish. Okay, buddy. Also, the put value isn't increasing that much. I'm looking at the SPY puts right now, and they haven't gone anywhere.
The 1DTE puts are kind of working. The 7300s are tomorrow.
The IV's probably jacked on them, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Those are hella expensive. But even this, you made like $50. If you bought it open, you went from 700 call it like 6, so you made $100. Nice. I just want to see if it bottoms out here, then I'll get some calls. If it doesn't, then short the hell out of it. But I don't see the volume though. See, more shares are being traded, but like it moves nowhere. It goes nowhere. There it is. There's your move up or starting of one. Whether that happens or not, I don't know.
While we're waiting, I'll go ahead and point out some of my favorite attractions here. Like this one, like that one.
All right, Timmy. All right.
I was also telling Neek I was working on something interesting last night.
Oh, I saw that. I actually put that into my build out already.
What about?
Yeah, this looks pretty cool.
It's the science of wicks.
Science of Wix. I think they're onto our system, honestly. Like they've been doing 3 Wix clusters now instead of 1, which is interesting.
Well, this is a little bit of a different idea for using it. Hang on, we did have a question here. Oh wait, you already answered that. Um, the idea behind the wicks is that this is going to sound insanely stupid, but also it's insanely aligned to my brain. Utilizing the 200 EMA as a guidance-based system and measuring wicks almost similar to the way that we measure um, how we measure how long a firework is going to last, how long it's going to wait till implosion, and also the same thing with the burst on a rocket, because the overall
Let me interrupt you real fast, real
yeah, of
quick.
course.
6K block just came in on the 7,300 puts for tomorrow again, and it just started ripping again. So this either dumps or this is the clear out of those contracts.
Oh, we'll see. We're about to find out. Let's go 945 candle. What do we get?
All right, Timmy. Now keep telling us how smart you are, because we
No.
don't understand it as heathens.
Well, no, everyone's smart. It's just using these approaches that were pioneered by the Soviet Union during their mission to Venus, as well as JPL, and also modeling things in a 2D fashion, and you're utilizing it to try to maybe even find like greater impacts,
I like it.
and then you're able to say, all right, was there surface penetration? Was it a high energy? Yes, I know these sound like innuendos. Um, high energy entry, surface hold, unstable reclaim, board crash.
Nice, Timmy. I like what Timmy said before. Some people are smart, but I'm smarter than the others.
Why?
And his
Looking
words.
at Jack's value, they doubled down on that position again, so we're going down.
All right, short the fuck out of this, which might be your bottom
What?
signal to get calls, but I don't know.
Hang on,
I don't think it's going to be a fast way. I think it's going to be a nasty chop down, but it's all signs are pointing to it. There's negative gamma approaching the entire way down.
let's try something new then. How about PG weeklies?
PG. This is
You
not
do have
look dumpy
earnings.
to you? Oh.
It's a safe haven.
I can even get an option on this. Nope, not on Webull. Why did this wick come in on the 73.85 calls? It's weird. Let me go to my other broker, see if I can get some PG calls on there. One sec.
It's not an official position, folks. That's also just a curiosity one, not even a lotto.
Nah, the spreads are whack. It's not worth it. Spreads are garbo. Oh, something just happened. I don't know what happened, but something just happened. Watching position. I don't know. These call premiums are actually holding pretty well. I'm watching at the money puts right now. They're just riding that EMA right now. Not a lot of volume though.
Well, George just said full size play puts at the money.
Yeah, I got some 730. Now the put premiums are dropping. I think it's going to go up, at least in the short term. It'll probably come back down later, but these puts are not going anywhere. Okay, IWM swept this lower ADR. This is going to start that uptrend here. And so in like 2 minutes, you'll kind of see the same move on SPX.
Watching position.
Micron puts. I don't know why they're selling the AMD puts. It's kind of weird. I really don't want to chase them here because even if I get the 50s or $900, 40s are 600 already. SPY puts are barely moving. Okay, this area will hold and then this will go up. I'm going to scalp a call just for kicks. Let's see if I can get this at like 480. Oh, a pretty deep undercut there on IWM. Yeah, there's a move up. I don't want to chase the calls here either because they're up like $50 from what I was trying to get in them at. What I might do actually is cancel this and then get the 40s instead. There you go. And we'll see where this ends up. Just gotta take quick wins today, whether that's like 10%, 20%, whatever it might be, just take the win. There's 10% there on the 40s. If you want to take the win, please do. And there's 12. There's 13. That's why I didn't want to chase puts in the first place, because I knew we were going to reverse up when I saw those premiums collapse. Doesn't mean we don't go down more. I'm just trying to see if I can get like a quick 50% win or something. Not a bad put entry though, but I think it'll go up. There's 20. If you want to take the win, take the win. 25, 26, 30. There's 35, 40. Good job, Shab, said no one.
Good job, Shabs.
All right, this is good enough for our morning. I'll see y'all later.